Much's cannon doesn't really cover the front of his base very well, so the Zerglings are able to sneak in just across that bridge and get a glimpse on there. And, wow, so Much needs to spot this. Is he going to spot it? Is this probe? Oh, he spotted it. He spotted it. Yes, Much has spotted this, definitely. He's actually going to put down another cannon. And if that cannon can warp in time, which I think it will, he can use that cannon to attack over the ridge and kill off that drone, so the drone can no longer mine out those minerals. I think it's going to come in time. If he'd sent more drones, it would not have, but I think it's totally going to work. I thought there was a way that the probe could actually attack the drone through the minerals there, but that may just be at the northern position. So he's going to see this, and he's going to just withdraw, and just going to have to fall back and go for a standard strategy. So Type B is just setting up his third hatchery at the right side base, and is just going to have to go for a normal build here. Normal kind of 3-hatch Neo-Sauron build, it looks like. Anyway, yeah, so the GREs, they test your kind of your general skills, and is he going to be able to get it? Oh, Zergling running in just to scope out, test the waters, see if he canceled that cannon or not. Because after the Lings left, he may have canceled that cannon, and Type B may have been hoping that happened, actually. Although it looks like he sent his drone home already. But, yeah, I did okay, but I was actually kind of appalled at my own lack of vocabulary. I like to consider myself relatively articulate. I'm pretty proud of my vocabulary in general. But man, this test just owned me. Like, it's one of those things where you get questions like, you know, Pwn is to defeat as, and then there's like 5 choices of 2 other sets of 2 words, and you have to choose which set of words, like, you know, best represents the relationship between the top set of words. And that would have been freaking awesome if there were questions like Pwn is to defeat on the on the GREs, but it didn't happen. But yeah, so you have to know what the words mean, though, in order to, like, know the relationship between them, and there were a lot of words that I didn't know. I was kind of surprised by that. So I'm probably going to try and, like, study up, get my vocab up, and take the GREs again next year. Not yet, next month. I'm going to be applying to, someone asked in a comment in my last video if I still tell my family members what I'm doing in life with my videos, and yes, I think my brother still, I don't think he watches them as much lately, but he does still find out some stuff about me from my videos. So yeah, I'm going to be applying to some PhD schools sometime soon. And so to do that, I actually took the GRE several years ago. That's how I got into my master's program. But the scores expire after 5 years, and it's been like barely five or 6 years since I took them last, and so I need to take them again. So yeah, I'm going to be applying. I don't know if I'm going to enroll in a PhD program yet, but I at least want to apply now, so I have that option later on. Did I just see him putting his archives in his third base? Oh, never mind. No, never mind. I was thinking of something else. Anyway, so we're in the period of PVZ where both players are just kind of gearing up, getting their economy going. Things are going to bust out pretty soon here, though. We saw Much making some sort of attempts at pressuring Type B, and actually it worked really well, because he sent out those 3 Zealots, and the Zealots didn't die. It looked like maybe one of them did, maybe 1 or 2, but he didn't lose a ton of units. Sometimes a player will send out like 5 Zealots, and now he needs to be a little bit careful with these Zealots. He's going to lose a couple of them. He killed a lot of Zerglings, though. But sometimes the Protoss player will run out with, their first 6 Zealots and a Dragoon, and they'll get them all killed, and they won't accomplish anything, and then the Zerg army is just too big, and the Zerg has too much map control, and they get at a big disadvantage. So, but Much killed enough Zerglings there that he's okay. He's setting out some Dark Templar as well. Type B is going to be plenty defended against these Dark Templar. He's going to send in his Corsairs first, taking out the Scourge. They're going to try and push the Overlords back away from this, and if he kills that one, yes, there's no sight range on those drones. The Dark Templars run in, able to kill off one drone, but he moves his drones over to the gas mine, and the other Overlords are just too close, so he's able to do it. And in this kind of a position, I never know why players don't. Maybe they're just not paying enough attention or something, or maybe it's too much APM for them to handle. I never know why they don't keep the Corsairs running that are being targeted by the Scourge and then stop the other Corsairs to try and attack the Scourge. Something I wish that players would do more. It'd be pretty elite, and I think people could probably pull it off. Wow, running in some more Dark Templar. 3 kills on that Dark Templar, and the other one gets away. So lucky little sneak attack there from Much, despite the fact that he had vision and a few Hydralisks there, able to kill a few drones regardless. And I think part of that was only because he had actually moved those drones in the way to try and block those Dark Templar from getting too far into his base, is what it looked like. Could have been catastrophic if it was in his main, since he doesn't have Overlord speed upgraded yet. And so he may not have an Overlord in his main base. It might have been really hard for him to get an Overlord into his main base there. That second Dark Templar is taking another peek. He's going to get denied as well. So really, it's probably going to come down to the next couple battles here, because both players really haven't lost a lot as far as their economy. Much, I'm surprised, is just another drone goes down. Actually, you know what? Type B is not in that good of shape economically, I think, because he doesn't appear to have very good drone saturation. If it was just bases, yeah, look, his main doesn't have a ton of drones either. And here's some mutas coming out. The mutas, he's trying to build a bunch of mutas. His target now is going to be to get some mutas and go in there and kill the High Templar that are going to come out very, very soon. And, I mean, he knows that he's killed a lot of Corsairs recently. So he's going to make mutas, try and kill off the High Templar, and then move in with Hydralisks to finish things off. But I don't see any High Templar, though. Much doesn't appear to have an army. Actually, that's what I was going to say, is that Type B looks like he's a little bit behind economically, but by this point, you know, you would expect the Protoss army to have built up a little bit more, but he's not taking another base or anything like that. So there's the High Templar is going to get picked off very easily. Archon's out of position to stop that from happening. And Much, I think, might get rolled here in a minute, because we saw a bunch of Hydralisks. We saw 2 or 3 dozen Hydralisks built up. Okay, there's 1 dozen. A dozen at his natural and a dozen at his third. So Type B has plenty of army around, and once he does some more damage with these Mutalisks, he's probably going to go with those Hydras, although there are a lot of Zealots there. Those Hydras probably couldn't take those Zealots just yet, but maybe another few Hydralisks, and they probably could. And, wow. So, Muta's just running around, basically carefree, reaping havoc. Whoa, nice storm there on them, but it's 1 storm for 1 Templar, not a very good trade. He didn't take quite enough damage to make that worth it. Well, some of his Mutas are pretty damaged, actually. He may have taken a hit from the Archon there earlier as well. And now Type B is, I mean, wow, Much is going to get steamrolled in a second, because Type B is just picking off every Templar. That's 4 Templar he's lost so far. Finally producing some Dragoons to try and attack those Mutas. And what we've been seeing a lot lately is Protoss players getting a lot more Dragoon-heavy armies so that their Dragoons can protect the High Templar. But it's a little bit too late here. He's only got those 2 Archons and a few Dragoons that can really attack those Mutas, and a bunch of Zealots that are just going to be completely vulnerable to the Mutalisks. And here he comes in with the Hydralisks as well. There's a few Dragoons in the mix, but there are a ton of Hydralisks. The Archons go down. The Dragoons are almost down as well. The Zealots go down at the same time, and doesn't even need to wait for the Archons to leave to kill off the Zealots with his Mutas, because the Zealots are dead anyways. He runs in, picks off the 2 High Templar that would have been his salvation. So Much is going to lose the first game here. And not terribly surprising. I would have said that I was rooting for Much, but you know, he hasn't been completely on top of his game lately, whereas Type B actually made a pretty decent run in the OSL last season. I think he got to the round of 8 or something like that. So he's been playing relatively well lately. So Type B is going to go on to the winner's match, is what it looks like here in just a minute, as soon as Much realizes that he's dead. And like I said, there's 2 sets of 2. There's GG coming from Much. So Type B is going to move on to face Stats in the winner's match. And Much is going to have to face Fantasy in the loser's match. Ouch. So we could see Much going out of this group 0-2 very quickly. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Moving on to Game 3. Thanks for watching.